as predictions are open. Okay, we love the Max Pack series. Hope you enjoyed yourself. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red Zerg player. The red Zerg player representing Team Vitality from land of South Korea. It is Solar. Yet he is last night's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have last night's ESL Open Cup Asia runner-up. We have the blue Terran player from land of China representing Team Mystery Gaming. It is CranKy. We go. And I am getting deja vu. This is not the first time in the last 24 hours that we have casted these two players on Golden Aura of all maps. If you remember, if you were here for it last night, then you would remember that CranKy did open up with a 3cc Hellbat all-in. Or Hellbat push. Not all in, but it was a Hellbat push with Marauders with Concussive Shell, and CranKy did successfully hide the build. He hid the armor, he hid the Marauders, was able to deny the scout and shut down the Overlord and keep Solar in the dark. And that led to a wild game where Solar was on the back foot. He was barely surviving, barely holding on. It was a very tense game as the game continued from there into our 3-base setup, into our 4-base setup. Solar did take it in the end, but it was still a very, very close series. We'll see how CranKy approaches it this time. See how he will approach this. As we have our standard opener, Rax into Expand. Rax into expansion here from CranKy. Meanwhile, Solo going for a hatch gas pool, standard opener as well. We're just easing into our game. No crazy 15-15 or pool first. Nothing out of the norm yet. Really, my eyes are on CranKy. CranKy has been a little bit more spicy as of late. We've been seeing a lot more unique builds or different follow-ups in a series. I mean, it's CranKy. He's just a more aggressive player in general. Has been for a long time. Coming up with his own builds. Having his own take on things. As for now, Lings are going to be keeping up. One Ling goes down. Not a bad start. Threading the mineral line, but the drones will be kept safe, and the Reaper is going to be forced back. So Solar should hold on. The Reaper does dive in. We do dip back in, but again, we shouldn't quite get a worker. Drones are getting low, but Solar does pull back in time. Yeah, second Queen has arrived. We do force back the Reaper. We do punish it a little bit, but the Reaper will survive. And back at home, that is a third CC before Starport, an economic build, an economic follow-up. Now again, last night we did see 3cc into Marauders, into a Hellbat push, but again, I don't expect to see that 2 nights in a row, or 2 days in a row. I don't expect to see that once again, as the Tech Lab is on the way, and this should be for an add-on swap into Banshees. That should be. We'll see. Meanwhile, Solar expanding, taking his third, joining up, keeping up with his queens, or keeping up with the Reaper. As we try to shut down the tumor, but we will force back said Reaper. And Ling's chasing it down. Hellions are on the way, and CranKy will preserve the Reaper a little bit longer. We'll keep it alive. There's the add-on swap, and Banshee production has commenced. So far, everything looking standard from the side of CranKy. Just 3cc Banshee with Hellion aggression. Cloak is being researched, it's on the way. And we do catch a tumor, not bad. One of the tumors does go down. And it's on Solar to keep up with his opponents. Overlord Scout is coming in, and the Overlord Scout should confirm additional Hellions and potentially the Starport as well. The Overlord is making its way in. Let's get eyes on the add-on swap, confirming that it's going to be Bio, not Mech. And the Overlord does get eyes on the Tech Lab, sees it researching, is aware of the Cloak Banshees. So a very nice scout here from Solar, fully aware of what's going on. Back at home, we should be throwing down spores momentarily to get ready for those Banshees. CranKy is threatening that fourth base. Does threaten the fourth. Gets a couple of volleys in, but will be forced back. And there we go. We have a Spore at the third, in the natural, and in the main base. Spore in every single mineral line. Solar is ready for those Banshees. Behind this is going Lair first. It's going to be a Lair opener into a Baneliness, so a very safe build out of Solar. Not cutting any corners against Coffee, especially after last night. Makes sense. As Solar does decide to delay his Evo Chambers in favor of the Lair and the Baneliness. There we go. Evo Chambers now on the way, a little bit later. Does mean that Coffee will have an upgrade lead, as Coffee's already working on 1-1. So there's going to be a slight window here. Coffee will have that upgrade advantage. As the Banshees have arrived. Not getting much damage yet. They do chip away at the third base. Okay, keep pulling at the third. At the fourth. We do soften up that hatchery. Headed now for the third mineral line. And not bad, getting 5 drones over. Oh my god, 6 drone kills. Very nicely done. 6 drones go down, Banshees back up. Likewise, Hellions diving in between the bases, clearing up a lot of creep. Here they catch both active tumors. Very nicely done. And the Banshees do back up. They rotate back around, they race back home. Meanwhile, we can see Solar taking up even further, throwing down a fast Hydra Den. Okay, so it's going to be Ling Bane Hydra. Again, Hydra production going to be a little bit faster than we would otherwise be accustomed to. Hydra's going to be on the horizon. Coffee throwing down additional Raxes. I believe that should be... Ooh, okay, we're getting up to 8 Raxes here on 3 bases. We have yet to take extra gases or take up further, so it looks like Coffee is going for a 3-base all-in. Does look to be the case. Okay, Coffee doubling down on the aggression, going to be rallying across the map. The 8 racks still kicking in. We do catch some queens. Oh, we get 1. 1 queen going down. Bailing Speed about to finish up. Just in time for this push. And Coffee gets caught out. Take a couple of bailings to the face. And Solar will deflect this, will hold. Coffee having to retreat. Hellbat push on the right hand side, does catch a queen, but should be cleaned up. Again, there's no support here. The Hellbats are going to go down, and we save the base. At the same time, Coffee threading the other hatchery, and he will get that. Oh, does get it! Barely. 4th base does go down. And we're expanding. Okay, we are expanding. We do have an 8-rack setup, but we're expanding. We should be working towards our next step. We still have a lot of bio to work with. Coffee still being hyper aggressive, but is thinking further ahead. So rotating over towards this hatchery, and it's so low. And Coffee wants it, and he's gonna get it. Sims on forward, hatchery goes down. Solo knocked down to 3 bases. And this isn't just hindering Solo's economy, but also the production. We are limiting our larva. Mine shots going off, ooh, forcing a bit of friendly fire. Brains will back up. Drop coming back in, but we are in position. Solo will defend his 4th. Will it keep it alive? Again, Solar is holding his own. And Coffee back at home is expanding. Taking his own 4th. Oh, that's an unfortunate depot. We'll shut it down. But is expanding, taking our own 4th. Macroing up. And Solar is going to be the first to max out. Has hit 200 supply. But is stuck at home, rebuilding these bases, resaturating. Coffee moving forward, denying a lot of creep. Active tumors going down. There's 1 active tumor, and there might... I was going to say 1 active tumor left. But it is sniped as well. As Coffee's keeping up with the movement of Solar. Doesn't lose the drop. Does pull back. We can see Solar taking up. We have the Hive on the way. Lurker Den as well. The Hydra Lurker Viper. We're getting there. Coffee is reinforcing. Once again, clearing up a lot of creep. Line shot's not looking too bad either. But the drop is denied. You'll see CranKy once again threading that base, threading that hatchery. Solar coming in for the surround. And only 2 medevacs. This army is not going to get out of here. At least it shouldn't. Not bad. Nice kiting here by CranKy. Hold the zone. Kiting off of creep. Likewise, we're going for the hatchery, but this 5th base will survive. It'll take a couple of hits, but is going to be kept up and running. Drop in towards the 3rd. Like, CranKy's being quite active, but we're bleeding out a lot of units. Medevacs are going down. Marines are going down. Solar is still maxed. And CranKy might be throwing away a little bit too much, as we haven't really gotten a return on our investment so far. Earlier we were killing hatcheries. Earlier it was worth it earlier, but now again another full medevac goes down. The hatcheries have survived. CranKy diving on queens. Some decent mine shots. Connecting with the lings. Ghosts are close. No detection for Solar. Risky move here from CranKy, as we can manually detonate those banelings. But the ghosts do hold their own. Not bad. CranKy gaining ground. Jumping on the right hand side. Trying to keep up. Throwing down 3 C. Oh my god. 3 CCs. Okay. I see you. Solar catches out the drop. Ooh, big bailing connections. The drops are cleaned up. See CranKy rotating on the right hand side. CranKy plummeting in supply. We have to be careful to bleed out too much too quickly. But the mine count is reset. And the hive is done. We have Vipers on the way. Just Solar is just out scaling CranKy. Again, CranKy has been very aggressive, but as we mentioned before, these drops just haven't really been worth it. Not anymore. Medevac goes down. Bailing's rolling in, crashing into the army. What little is left of it. CranKy does hold on and does take another base, but Solar still maxed out. Still has been able to maintain his 5 base setup, working on the 6th. Lean Bane rallying across the map. And even going for the Nidusworm into the main. And we just have to deny bases. We get on top of the planetary. Planetary goes down. There's no saving it. Nidus in the main is denied, but again, Solar still got damage done. Goldie was looking for. Powerbomb on the Medivacs. Bailey's a roll in. There is a planetary, thankfully. He does hold. But it costs us a base, costs us 7 SCVs. The orbital's barely standing. And Solar backs off and remaxes. Again, the pressure that Solar was under is no longer there. We're respreading all the creep, the bases, they're fully operational. They have been for quite some time. And CranKy is just running out of units. Running out of our economy here. GG gets called. We don't even get a final fight as the writing is on the wall, and Solar takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Ooh, Solar does take the first game. Again, CranKy was doing well early on in the mid game, but over time was overcommitting to these drops and it wasn't worth it anymore. He was no longer killing bases, was not getting drone damage either. At a certain point, there was diminishing returns in favor of Solar and against CranKy. And in the end, Solar does take the first game. It was impressive stuff from CranKy, but was not enough. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. Meanwhile, do we have any other updates? Because I do see some more casters filing in. Okay. It looks like we are getting ready here for game number 2. I did notice Dave, shout out to Dave Testa, another fellow community caster, is here, and that is because we have our finalist. This just in, MaxPax took down Showtime 2-0, and MaxPax is waiting in the grand finals for the winner of this series. Going to be either Solar or Coffee. Solar is one game away from making it into those finals. Coffee has to fight back here and now to force that ace match. And we might be inducing a bit of PTSD because we're loading into Alcyone. And again, if you were here last night, you would know that this is the map that Coffee did win on. Coffee did take a game last night. It was here on Alcyone off of the back of a 2-Rax Reaper build. And I wonder if we do the same. I wonder if we try to embrace the same opener from the side of Coffee. As here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our red Zerg player representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0, one game away from making it into the grand finals. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player, the blue Terran representing Mystery Gaming. Down in this series, looking to bounce back here and now. It is Coffee. We go. Here we go, as Coffee is going for the Rax on the high ground with the depot as well, so it is not going to be 2-Rax Reaper from Coffee, not this time. If you remember, if you were here last night, you would have seen a brutal moment where Coffee was able to trap one of the Queens of Solar. His mental broke then and there, and things very quickly escalated out of control. It happened right here. As Coffee did open up 2-Rax Reaper, he was applying pressure, and he did throw down a KDA charge, knocked the Queen into this position, and it was trapped. And chaos ensued. The Queen wasn't able to help out the defense, and eventually Coffee did win. Did it take a game off of Solar, but now we're settling into game 2, into a different series, a different tournament, different opener. And just going to be a racked expand from Coffee. Solar across the map going hatch gas pool. Standard opener. Here we go. So now we are settling in. Again, should just be hatch gas pool into a third base. Standard build here from Solar. Likewise, Coffee taking a very different approach this time. Very different approach. Curious how it all comes together. It all does come together here. First Reaper getting across the map, going to be threading the mineral line. Dancing with the Lings. Not quite getting a Ling kill yet. Oh, they're getting low. To get low, but alas, they all survive, and the Reaper is going to be zoned away by that Queen. Back at home, it's going to be a 3cc before Starport, as the command center is on the way. Once again, an economic build here by Coffee, very similar to game 1, very similar to game number 1. And I wonder if we're going to be going into Banshees, or if we try to hide our tech instead. As I do see our Marine on patrol. The goal of this Marine is to deny the Overlord Scout and to keep Solar in the dark. As Solar is going for a safety Roach Warren. Okay. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Coffee yet to scout. Dipping into the natural. But the Roach Warren is kept hidden. Again, a very safe way to approach this game. Roaches, they do quite well in the mid game. They don't scale amazingly into the late game at all, but they can keep you safe and sound, keep you alive, and also allow you to be aggressive yourself. As it is going to be Banshee production from the side of Coffee. First tumor goes down. We don't quite commit into the mineral line, not yet. There is 7 roaches on the way. And Solar, I'm curious if he drones. Okay, he's droning. I was gonna say I'm curious if he drones from here or makes Lings. If he just goes all in and sends it across the map, but is making workers. So just making 7 roaches, going for an early roach push, and macroing behind it. So this is not an all-in from Solar. but is designed to get damage done. Roaches are spotted. CranKy racing back. Catching some roaches here out at the zone. Naga even. Okay, not bad. You get a roach kill. Oh! One roach so far. Banshees have arrived, and with these Banshees, we can bully back these roaches. Solar won't get any damage done. And CranKy back at home, just settling in. So far, a very nice start for CranKy. Solar back at home, working towards a lair. Lair is on the way. Safety spores against that Banshee. CranKy getting into its 5-rack setup. 4 racks is on the way, and the third base is now being taken. So CranKy settling into his game, settling into his build. Likewise, Solo working towards our 4th, and yo, okay. For a moment there, we had Burrow on the way. I was like, yo, Tunneling Claw Roaches, but looks like Burrow was cancelled. And instead, we're getting into our double Evo chamber, and I imagine +1 melee. We'll see. Are we going to range? Range as they make their way into the main. They get a drone. So far, 1 worker does go down. Do you have, of course, roach speed on the way, infestation as well. That should be for hive tech, for maybe even hydras and lurkers. As Jake has the drones, they're going to be going down in the main. 3 drones get picked off. 4th base still not taken. As the Banshees did deny it. You get 6 drone kills. Rotating back around. 4th base finally going to be on the way, but it's quite late. Likewise, no upgrades either. Solar has the money for it. It's stepping up a little bit here. Hellions going for the dive, but oh, okay, we're in position. Roaches are in position. Hellions force back. Ling speed on the way. Roach speed, a Bailey Nest, and this should be for +1 melee. There it is. Melee is on the way. As we force a cancel on the 4th base once again. Very late 4th here from Solar. And we're stuck with roaches. The Ling Bane is not online yet. CranKy diving on the queen. 1 queen goes down in the main. Double jump here towards the 4th base. And we're looking for another cancel. Once again, containing Solar on 3 bases. Yeah, big pick up. We're still on 4. We focus down the 4th base. And we don't quite catch a queen. Oh my god. Oh no! Medevac taking so low. They have to get out of here. Medevac's do pull back. Again, still no 4th base as the Banshees, they come back in, catching 4 more drones. Where is the detection? It's not here. Not again. What's this, the 4th time? 3rd or 4th time to force a cancel? Oh my god, as we don't quite get it. The base does survive, but CranKy, he wants it. Sims in. Has to respect the army. Does pull back. But the hatchery is so low. And behind this, we've been building up. We have bio, we have tanks, we have no gases at the 3rd base. I believe we're 8-raxing, and the answer is yes, we are. We are selling into our 8 racks here from the side of CranKy. A very aggressive build on 3 bases. Borderline all in. As it looks like only 2 of the racks don't have any add-ons. Very similar to what we saw last game on Goldenrod. Very similar. As we have a double jump on the left-hand side, looking to nice and bases. The main push right through the center. Tanks are sieging. 2-2 is almost done. We don't want to hit an anti-timing. But there we go. Combat Shields finishes up. Job has arrived. Diving on the queens. 1 queen goes down. We get 1, we get 2. We get 2 queens and the hatchery. We force a cancel. And now CranKy can focus on the main push. Focus on the main army. Again, +2, a couple of seconds away. Job keeping those roaches distracted. Bailing speed is done. Ultras are on the way as we have our hive tech. Bailing's crash forward here, but not the best connections. 1 tank will fall to the wiles. As the drop hits the natural, we do get 5 drones. 5 drones go down, and Solar's being forced further and further back. Solar in a bit of trouble here. The tank army edging ever closer. 2 Vipers are out. We need a little bit more time. One of the tanks is piled down. Go towards the left, not quite forcing the cancel. But here come the Vipers, here come the Blinding Clouds. They recover one of the tanks, and we don't quite get the other. Army steaming on forward and collapsing here on top of the Ultras. Kindness plating isn't done. Ooh, you have the Blinding Clouds just barely in time. Blinding Clouds are running out, diving on forward once again. The Ultra getting so low. The army, though, overstimmed quite heavily. Calm down. Running out of stims, running out of HP. Solar barely holding. Bleeding out another Ultra. Down to 1, but now spawning in 2 more. Viper's gathering energy. Coffee is so close to breaking Solar. Ooh. Tank goes down, but we have 2 more. More tanks rise to take their place. We have 3 CCs on the way. Oh my god. Calm down. Was that a kill? Yeah, that was a kill. Yeah, that was a kill on the hatchery. And Coffee backs off. Kills the base. Gold is on the way for Solar. Still has the right-hand base up and running. Coffee does retreat. Unfortunately, these CCs are a little bit late. They're late. We can take the gold, though. The gold is a good way to just maintain ourselves from the side of the Terran. Solar rotating around. Triple drop here will come across the gold. And the hatchery is going to be targeted down. We force a cancel. Did cost us a couple of Marines. Decent target firing. We do focus on a couple of those Banelings. Oh my god! 4 Banelings go down. So you see Solar rolling with his Ling Bane. Oh, doesn't quite get into the mineral line. He's going for it, but doesn't bust in. Despite that, 18 SCVs go down. Oh my god. Oh, I think we were at long distance mining. Yeah. 18 SCVs did fall. Good pick off there by Solar. Coffee plummets in supply. But the army supply is still up there. Still comparable. But we're not ready for this. The tanks are late to siege. Blinding Clouds are thrown down. The Ultras, they collapse on top of the army. Another Blinding Cloud. It looks like Solar should take this. GG gets called. A brutal fight. And Solar takes the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Solar as it does take the series 2-0. But a shout out to Coffee, did hold his own, and that was a wild game number 2. It was very close. Unfortunately, Coffee, again, his follow-up transition to a 4-base setup was a little bit too late. Did not deal enough damage with his 8 racks. He did deny the 5th, but did not deny the 4th or break into the 3rd. Solo was able to get into his Hive Tech, did barely survive with those Ultras. GG, well played. Solar makes it to the grand finals, and Coffee does bow out in the semis. But again, solid series. Didn't take a map, but these were some close games, some fun matches. So a shout out to Coffee for competing here in this tournament, for trying to fight back in this rematch. And now we're settling into a very different rematch. Let's go. It's going to be a best of 5 grand finals between Solar and MaxPax. And what I'm referring to, which we did cast on the channel last week, is this is a finals rematch. It is a rematch of the finals of last week. Last week in ESL Open Cup Americas 229, it was also Solar versus MaxPax. It was also these 2 same players in those finals. And MaxPax was our champion last week. MaxPax won 3-1, if I remember correctly. Solo was able to fight back in one of those games when MaxPax did play. I think he played Glaive Adept, and he was punished. Punished by Solar. But we'll see if Solar can get his revenge and take more than just a game. We'll see if he can take a series. We go. As we are getting ready for our finals, predictions will soon be open. to manage the predictions. I'm going to be managing those predictions, and it looks like we're going to be going on a short break here. Okay, we're going to be going on a short break. Again, we have one series left. The grand finals are ahead of us, and take this moment to get some snacks, get some water, take a break for a couple of minutes here before we dive into those grand finals, into the final series of the broadcast. See you soon. At the Massage Marines party.